partner, The Hill. Niall, it's always good to have you on. You just heard from the DeSantis campaign spokeswoman. They seem to think 2 months is a lot of time. Is 2 months a lot of time ahead of January? Give us your thoughts.
The danger in that argument, I think, Natasha, is that Governor DeSantis has not made any particularly big inroads into former President Trump's massive lead, despite the fact that, of course, he has been campaigning for several months now. It is certainly true that races can change in the closing weeks, that voters can tune in a way that they had not done before. But what is the argument from Governor DeSantis against former President Trump that is going to work, that is going to get him traction, that is going to reel in this very large Trump lead? I don't believe we have seen that argument yet. I think the polls reflect that we haven't. So obviously Governor DeSantis will have to hope that something different happens in the intervening period.
And when we see the DeSantis team launching this new site, and we heard Carly address this, saying that Haley is too liberal for modern Republicans. What do you make of the strategy, and will it work?
It's clearly an attempt to stem this rise on the part of Nikki Haley. The DeSantis strategy has been predicated on the idea that this should be a two-person race. It would be Trump against DeSantis. Nikki Haley has complicated that whole calculus greatly. She has called that premise into very serious question as she has risen in the polls. So now, as you note, we have the DeSantis campaign going at Haley in a much more aggressive way. I think that is understandable. The danger, though, is that Haley and DeSantis squabbling leaves Trump to float above the fray. And there are no prizes in this game for coming second. We don't nominate anyone who comes second. The prize is to win the nomination.
I mean, to that end, we've heard from the DeSantis campaign about the need for a strong showing in Iowa. Doesn't he need to win the caucuses there? Does it help him if he comes in second to Trump?
I think you're correct that he probably does need to win Iowa. He certainly needs to run former President Trump exceptionally close, because if Trump wins Iowa, then he has demonstrated that he is still strong, that the polls aren't in any way illusory. And then the contest moves to New Hampshire, where Governor DeSantis, according to polling, is significantly weaker than he is in Iowa. So then you would be in a scenario where DeSantis would be 0 for 2 and Trump would potentially be 2 for 2. And, it's difficult to see a road back to anyone not named Donald Trump at that point.
And meanwhile, the more time DeSantis and Haley spend time taking aim at one another, is this ultimately just a good thing for former President Trump?
Yes, I think so. I think he has based his whole campaign on the idea that he should be considered almost the nominal nominee, the assumed nominee. Now, obviously, his rivals don't agree with that argument, but he has been able to retain this very large polling lead amid criminal indictments, amid a civil trial, amid various other furores. So if you have Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis fighting with each other, obviously that doesn't harm Trump at all. And he can just continue to take the course that he takes, doing these big rallies, not attending debates, and saying that he should be considered not only the front runner, but almost a de facto nominee before the process has even started.
Okay, Nial Stanage, always appreciate the context and analysis. Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, NewsNation is your home for the next Republican primary debate. The GOP presidential candidates will square off in a live primetime event at the University of Alabama, Wednesday, December 6th. SiriusXM's Megyn Kelly and NewsNation's own Elizabeth Vargas will moderate the 2-hour event in partnership with the Washington Free Beacon. A NewsNation Republican primary debate live from the University of Alabama, Wednesday, December 6th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.